What is going on, guys? This is a big day because it's Isaiah Wilks commitment day. Isaiah, how are you feeling? And who do you have with you?
Feeling good. This is my dad, Mike Wilks.
All right, all right. Coach Wilks, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, just excited for my son. Worked really hard to get to this point.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good basketball players in this one picture right here. Isaiah, a 226 guard, played at Mocan, goes to Millwood, correct?
Yes.
Um, 3A state champion. You're a player of the year, right?
Yes, for my conference.
Yeah, for your conference. Played
Mhm.
at Mocan. I think during the season you averaged 10 points, about 2.5 assists. At Peach Jam, you shot 40% from the field, from three. And then like July kind of blow up. I saw offers from like Corpus Christi, Bowling Green, Loyola Chicago, University of Louisiana. And then we have Coach Mike Wilks stand out at Rice. Uh, Assistant coach for the 225 NBA champions, OKC Thunder. Played in the NBA for 7 seasons. Again, a lot of really good basketball players. I mean, two really good basketball players here. One that is just that's really just starting to really create his, generate his own legacy in Isaiah. So, Isaiah, how about the recruiting process, right? So, like I said, you started getting a lot of offers late July. How was it, getting the bombardment of text messages and calls from the coaches and how to decipher which school makes sense for you?
Um, it was great just to see the work pay off because I worked really hard. So just to see that, even though it came late, just to see that payoff was like a really good feeling. And I was honestly shocked to be getting all the text messages at Peach and just so how many it was.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, Coach, how does it feel just, getting to this day, seeing your son get to this day? And what was a piece of advice that you gave him while like, he was waiting to see what school he was going to go or, when it kind of got slow in recruitment. How did you still encourage him throughout this whole process?
I mean, most of his life I've been, teaching and telling him to run his own race, put his faith in God, continue to work hard, and what God has for you is for you. And so, I seen him put the work in, getting up early in the morning before school, on his own, showing initiative that he wanted to be a good player, a great player. So just seeing him putting in the work, focusing in on the process, like we talked about. And then just believing, that if you just keep working hard and carry yourself the right way, good things will happen. And so, like he said, for him to get to Peach Jam and, start to see some of the hard work begin to manifest for him, it was extremely gratifying, and I'm extremely proud of him and, excited for him. I feel like this is just the beginning for him.
Absolutely. No, I definitely agree with that. Isaiah, everyone talks about guards. They want bigger guards, right? It's always like the sexier uh piece. But like for you, one thing I really did enjoy is that you seem like you played with a chip on your shoulder and you played extremely tough. And you're kind of you prove the fact that it doesn't matter how tall you are, but how good you are. How was it? I know that was always a challenge. Like, well, how tall is he, right? Like, I know you probably were getting that. How did how did how did that impact you? Was that like motivation when you got on the court?
At first, it used to bother me, but then once I got older, it just made me realize like how good I really am to be my size and be able to do what I do against bigger players. So now when I'm on the court, like I'm going at people just to show you like it doesn't matter. As long as you can play, like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your height. As long as you can play, then you should be out there.
Right, and I think your father's also a testament of that. That's someone that played at Rice, went undrafted, and still played 7 seasons in the NBA.
Mhm.
Coach, what I mean, I talked about advice that you gave him during his recruitment process, but with his game, uh, what is something that you always just continue to repeat to him, just about his game and what he needs to show in and day out?
Definitely, the intangibles matter, especially at our size. You gotta have some grit, you gotta have some toughness, you gotta have some dog to you. Um, you gotta have a level of utilize the physical tools that you do have in terms of your speed, your quickness, getting stronger. But I always tell him like what's really gonna separate him is here and here. What's in his head and what's in his heart. His IQ, and his heart can help compensate, for what he may lack physically. But I always put in him like go out there and compete. Show what you got. Let that hard work that you put in manifest out there on the court. And that's what he's been able to do.
Isaiah, I asked this for every player. When did you realize that, hey, I'm going to play basketball, at the next level, and this is something I'm good at, and this is something I really want to be. What was the moment? Because there's always like a moment where you're like, okay, this is what I want to do.
Uh, I would probably say last summer is really when I believed that I could play at the next level. It didn't start off so great for me, but I was able to push through that, and I had like a really good end of my summer, and it just gave me a lot of motivation to be like, okay, like you can really do this. So then we went back and watched what I need to get better at. Man, I applied that to this uh latest EYBL season, and now this upcoming high school season.
Yeah. So going back to the recruitment, like you said, it was like a lot when all those coaches started reaching out to you and everything like that. Well, talk about that process to be able to choose one. Like, how were you and your family just able to just say, okay, this school makes the most sense, or we got to drop it, or this is our top three, or how did that process look like?
I would say we already knew what we were looking for, which was good people and people who believed in me. Um, what else? Probably something that's not transactional but transformational, developing me as a young man and a basketball player at the same time. And then, of course, like finding a coach in a school that was going to fit my play style and let me have a level of freedom and let me run like I like to.
Coach, you went through the recruiting process, right? Like it it looks different, but it's still all the same, right? Like, you got to pick the right place, you got to pick the right coach, you got to be recruited. So how was that just helping him manage and decide what makes the most sense?
I just really encouraged him to find a head coach first and foremost that really believed in him. It's a little bit different with the NIL and the transfer portal. Some of the schools they're just looking for like transfers and it's more transactional. So I was like, you want to find a coach and a coaching staff that really believe in you, that see your upside and your potential and want you to be around not just for a year, but to develop you, multiple years. So that was the first thing. And then the second thing was just, like you said, high character people. This is my son, who I love greatly. So, I'm pretty much, me and my wife and we're handing him off to someone else to help develop him into the young man that he's going to be. So I want him to be around high character people, godly people, people of value, great values. And then, I encourage him to look at the style of play, make sure that the style of play fits his game, and then where, like you said, where he can be aggressive and play free, and just the coaches that believe in him. And then I want him to have a great college experience, make sure they have the resources, available to him where he can grow and develop and continue to work on his game, and then also enjoy his college experience overall. So those were most of the things that were pretty important. Good people, coaching staff that believe in him. A family environment was key, and we feel like ultimately we prayed about it. We're a family of faith, and at the end of the day, we're gonna pray about it and see God, and do whatever we feel like, or pray that he does whatever he feel like God is leading him to do. And that's how we ultimately came to the conclusion that he did.
Perfect, perfect. So Isaiah, where will you be playing next fall?
I'll be committing to University of Louisiana Lafayette.
Let's go.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
go. Congrats, Isaiah, playing for head coach Quantas White. Isaiah, I mean, I love the fit. I love that that's where you're going. But tell the people why University of Louisiana.
My recruiting process was very different with them. I would say I probably talked to the whole staff in probably a week and a half of like my first time talking, even being recruited by the school. So that was very different. And then just talking to Coach Q, he really believes in me and thinks that I can get to the next level. And they're going to develop me and push me. And also, it's just it's a family vibe, a very good family vibe that we click very well. And I like that.
Perfect, perfect. Coach, what did you see in Qantas and that staff? I know you talk about high character people, people that you would trust your son, and uh, what were the things that they were doing that made you feel that they were checking those boxes?
I think like the first thing that, Isaiah mentioned is just the high level of interest and attention to detail that not only Coach Q showed, but the entire staff, Coach Brandon, Coach Gio, Donald, like their whole staff. They weren't just calling him, they all reached out to me as well, talking to multiple people, talked to my wife, she's on the phone with them for over an hour, like asking questions, very patient. It just really felt like a family vibe, like Isaiah said. And then just talk, just looking at Coach Q, we know multiple people being in this basketball space and just hearing his background, the thing that I kept hearing about him, man, he's a straight shooter, he's honest. He's gonna shoot you straight. And, I love that level of honesty. And then we looked at his pedigree, come from a winning pedigree, coming from Houston. We seen his ability to develop smaller guards like him, like Isaiah, Sasser, Shad, those guys. He has a pedigree for developing and being an integral part. And then we just seen, just doing our background check, just it's not just basketball with him. Like he truly cares, not just him and the staff. And you see the relationships that he's built with his guys. It's beyond, his time and in Houston. So we felt like he would be a
It's
great free.
7:15 p.m.
Just his honesty, um, just his honesty, and then just his basketball pedigree and his high belief in Isaiah, him and his staff. And so we felt it was a great fit for him.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Yeah, no, Quanis, he's someone that I've really gotten to know really well at his time at U of H. And Isaiah, you fit like you mentioned like Sasser and Shad, and those guys were like really under recruited when they were in high school, and they were really good. And Isaiah, you kind of is following that line of guys that your recruitment kind of jumped off a little bit later, right?
Mm.
But you're tough, you'll guard, you're a true PG, you make shots, and Quantas loves guards that make shots. We all do, but like you're a shot maker and you don't care who's out on the court. So you really fit that the culture I know that he's trying to establish there, the culture that he's been a part of in his previous spots. So I just really do love that fit, and I think you're someone that could be an impact player there. I'm excited about that. That's really awesome. But Isaiah, uh, let's kind of go into where you feel like, day one, what do you feel like your role, not maybe not your role, but what do you feel like you can provide to the team right away?
I would say my energy, defense, just really being a sponge, soaking up everything because it'll be my first time with college basketball. So just picking up everything, being able to learn on the fly, and then just working hard, really being a good teammate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What part of your game are you going to work on there's always going to be a learning curve when you go into the next level. I mean, it's part of it. What part of your game are you going to try to really kind of develop, kind of polish up, this school season to get ready when you have to go there in June?
I would say getting my shot faster and being able to make decisions quicker. And as far as like physical, just getting stronger to be able to take those bumps from those bigger guys.
Gotcha. Coach, how do you feel? Like, you mentioned getting the shot off quicker or just getting shot faster and then getting stronger. Would you agree with that? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, as long as you're playing, man, you're always trying to become a more consistent shooter. So he's been putting in the work, over the summer, and I think it's something he'll continue to do throughout the season. want to be a consistent perimeter threat. But I think, continue to improve his IQ, making reads, pick and roll reads, making, reads off the catch, just developing his IQ. And then, like he said, continue to get stronger and work on his body so that when he goes into, his freshman year, he'll be ready for the physicality that he'll be facing next season. And then, this would be great. He knows where he'll be going. So we get to watch, the team play this year and learn the system, and hopefully, he can pick up on things and learn their schemes, their system, how they want to play, and then he can go into it, with a head start.
Isaiah, who do you want to thank, just for, the help that's been a part of your development, this whole process? Anyone you want to shout out or thank?
First God, because without him, like none of this is possible. There's been a lot of tough nights and tough days, and just with him being there, he brought me through it. And then, of course, my parents, my AAU coaches up to this point, Don Gray, my trainer, and really just my family. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect, perfect. Well, Isaiah, congrats again. I appreciate you guys' time. I'm thankful for anybody that allows me to break their commitment. So I really appreciate you guys, and good luck this season. Go win another state title, and I'll definitely be